today's video, I'm going to compare Cartoon Animator and Moho. So if you want to learn more, then stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Eon and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel. The channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation, and if that is you, welcome. You are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. Now today I am going to compare Cartoon Animator and Moho. So just a quick disclaimer, just to lay the foundation, the groundwork. I am a big advocate for Cartoon Animator. I use it for all my animations. I've created a lot of videos, and I also believe it is the best software if you want to start out in 2D animation. And I created a video, so go check it out. I'll put a card right here so you can go check that video out. I truly believe Cartoon Animator is the best software for beginners if you want to start out. Now, so I love Cartoon Animator and I've been using it since I started animation, and I will continue using it. So why am I looking at Moho? Why am I comparing it to Moho? Well, to give you a quick idea, there is a few things, and if you've watched last week's video where I talked about things I would like to change about Moho, there are a few things or things I would like to change about Cartoon Animator. There are one thing that I've mentioned in that video that I would love to change, and I will talk about it in a moment. And Moho actually does have that feature. Now, I am currently working on on creating my very own feature film, a 3D animation film. So I'm using iClone for that. But I was thinking about, once that project is done, what if I create a 2D animation feature film? But if I'm going to do that, I will need some extra features that currently Cartoon Animator doesn't have. So I'm going to talk about some of those features just now. So I started looking at other software and I found Moho. I think from all the software, there are, I would say, better softwares that your bigger studios use. But Moho, I think it is the next affordable software. So I was looking at Moho and I watched some videos. Now, just a disclaimer, I've never used Moho. Everything that I'm going to mention in this video is stuff that I've learned from watching videos regarding Moho, how it works. So I've done my research, and these are the things that I've picked up. So some of the things I mentioned, if you use Moho and I'm wrong, maybe my assessment from the videos is wrong, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this is what I've picked up from the videos, from my research, and I am thinking of also getting Moho, and I will talk about my reasons why later on in my conclusion. Okay, so the first thing, and I've mentioned it last week in my previous video, one thing that I would love to change or add in Cartoon Animator is to have not only a 360 head, but a 360 body. Now, when I say 360, I truly mean 360, so that your character can really move in a circle. Okay, not with Cartoon Animator, it does have a 360 head, but it doesn't turn completely. Okay, and the other thing with Cartoon Animator is your character is limited to one position or one angle. So you've got a front angle or 0-degree angle, and then that angle has a 360 head, and then you must create a separate character with a 45-degree and create a 360 head for that angle, and then also a 90-degree. So you have to create so many different characters. Now, if you want your character in a scene to turn around and walk away, it is extremely difficult to do that inside Cartoon Animator. Now, if I create a feature film, I want those type of features. I want to be free for my character to do whatever I want him to do. And that is where Moho, I feel, is a little bit superior to Cartoon Animator, because you can really create a 360 character that can really turn in a circle. So that is something I really like. And also the rigging capabilities. You've got more control over your character. You can rig his face. So another downside for Cartoon Animator is it's using sprites for the eyes and the mouth. Okay, they've had sprites for their hands, but they've moved away from that, so you can now also rig your hands, which is a great thing. But especially when it comes to your eyes and mouth, there's a very jumping movement, because you work with sprites, so it keeps jumping from the one sprite to the other one, where with Moho you actually rig your face, so you have control over the eyes, how it blinks. Does it go wide? The mouth, you have control over the mouth to close it, open it, all of those things. So it's not sprite based, it is actually, I think it's vector based. So you have more control, and even with the 360 head, you have more control over that as well. So you have a lot more control and features, and you can do so much more with your characters. And also one thing that I like, especially keep in mind if you create a film, is, let's say for instance you've got a character, he's walking this way and he stops and he wants to look behind him. So with Cartoon Animator you can only move the head. The upper body will still face this way. But with Moho, you can actually let that upper body move as well to create a more realistic look. So that is the first thing I've noticed between the two, where Moho is a bit superior to Cartoon Animator. And one of the reasons why that is one of the things I want in a software if I'm going to create a full feature film, is to have more control over my characters, so I can do more realistic things with it, so it looks more realistic. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and if you've also watched last week's video, I've mentioned there's something I wanted to change about Cartoon Animator, and after I've done my research, I've noticed that what I wanted to change is actually a good thing. It is actually a positive, because Moho actually does have this functionality, and in some of these videos they see it as a weakness for Moho. So what is it? Well, it is a drawing tool. So if you use Cartoon Animator, you'll know that if you want to draw backgrounds or if you want to create characters, you have to do it outside of Cartoon Animator. So in my case, I use Clip Studio Paint. So that is my drawing software. So I've linked it up. So with the press of a button, it opens it up. I can create my character or make changes to an existing character, and I just save it, and I go back and my character is updated. So your drawing, if you want to create characters or backdrops or props, you have to do that all outside Cartoon Animator. And that is an extra expense. You need to now go purchase Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint or Affinity Designer. So it's an extra expense, and it's the reason why I wanted to change it, because it feels like an extra step in the creative process. I just want to create. So now I need to go to a different software and then make my changes or create my character and then go back to Cartoon Animator. So for me, I wanted to change that. Now, Moho does have those functionalities inside Moho. You can create your characters inside Moho. It does have all the drawing tools. So that is the other reason why I looked at Moho. But then there were some comments inside inside some of the videos that I've watched regarding Moho, and it actually said that you are very limited to the brushes and tools. Obviously, Moho isn't a drawing or a graphic designing software. It is an animation software, so it won't have all the tools that Photoshop has. So you can do so much more with your artwork in Photoshop than in Moho. So what they actually said, and it made sense, is you've got so many brushes in Photoshop, and especially with me, I've actually purchased a few brushes for Clip Studio Paint, and some of them I use over and over because I feel I found my own personal artistic style. Those brushes is me. That is the brushes I use to create my own style. Now, if I'm going to go over to Moho, I don't have access to those brushes. Now, I don't know, and maybe if there's any Moho users, you can let me know that you can import brushes. I don't know if you can. If you can, let me know. But if Moho can do that, that will solve a big problem. But you can understand I've got my own personal artistic style that I've developed and created, and I know I love this style. This is how my unique style should look like. And if I go over to Moho, I lose all of that, and that is a big downside for every animator that takes his craft serious, who wants to become a serious animator. If you lose your artistic style, that is not good. Now, I do think you can import PSD files from Photoshop, etc. But yeah, so there is some downsides to it. So, and I can also add this is something that Moho also has, is some compositing tools, so you can add light into your scenes and onto your characters, make your characters look a little bit more three-dimensional. You can add shadows. These are things that you can't do inside Cartoon Animator. So again, in this side, you'll think that Moho is better, but with Cartoon Animator, you now have to link it to After Effects, and again, After Effects will give you a lot more control and does have a lot more tools than Moho, so you'll be able to do so much more and create much better effects if you use After Effects. So in that sense, I would say Cartoon Animator is something that I would have loved them to change, but now I see it is actually a plus. You can actually create better artwork. Your compositing at the end is so much better. Okay, you'll have to spend more money because you'll have to buy extra software, etc. But if you compare the price of Cartoon Animator and Moho, Cartoon Animator is a lot cheaper. Okay, so I think you pay extra for these features when it comes to Moho. So that is something to consider. So in that sense, I say, okay, maybe Cartoon Animator does have the upper hand because I can create, or I can keep my artistic style and the brushes and all of that. I don't know, like I've mentioned earlier, maybe Moho, you can import those things. I don't know, I haven't seen it in the videos that I've watched, but I did see where some of the creators in these videos, that was a downside for them. Then another thing where I think Cartoon Animator is ahead of Moho is when it comes to motions. Okay, so when I animate, I use the walking motion over and over, and I've purchased quite a lot of different walking motions so that if I have a group of characters, I can apply different styles of walking to different characters so that they don't all walk exactly the same. So that just adds a little bit of interest into my scene, and it takes me not even 5 minutes, and I've created a whole scene with 5 or 6 characters walking. Now, if I have to animate a walking cycle for one character, that alone takes quite long. Imagine 6 characters. So Cartoon Animator, you save a lot of time with your motions, and with Moho, you can create a walking motion for a character and you can save it, but from what I picked up from videos, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't apply that motion to all characters because not all characters are rigged the same, because you have a lot more control over your characters. So one motion that you've saved won't apply on another character. So what you can do is you can maybe create a walking motion for a specific character, give him his own style, and maybe save that and use that over and over. But that is something that really saves time, and what I love about Cartoon Animator is the motions. It saves me so much time, and with Cartoon Animator, with Moho, I will have to animate those walking cycles every time from scratch. So to produce a show will take so much longer for me. So that is something where I think Cartoon Animator is superior as well. So what is my conclusions? Okay, so I love Cartoon Animator, and I will continue using Cartoon Animator for my projects. If you know, I have my own streaming platform and I create a lot of animations, so I need to work fast, and Cartoon Animator allows me to work fast, especially with emotions. I can release new animations regularly on my platform, and with Moho I won't be able to do that. But if I want to create a professional looking, like a feature film, then I think Moho is the answer. So if you want to create very professional looking animations where your characters have more control, you have more rigging possibilities on your character, so that will really take your animation to the next level. And I do think Moho in that sense is the answer. And if I'm going to create a feature film, then I think Moho is the better option for that. But for all my other shows, Cartoon Animator is working fine, and I will continue using it. And the other thing with Cartoon Animator is the updates, the things that they incorporate in the software every time is just so amazing. So the software is improving so much. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to continue using Cartoon Animator, but I also want to invest in Moho and learn Moho, because another reason, and I haven't mentioned it, it will make me a better animator. Because with Cartoon Animator, you kind of, with emotions, you kind of become lazy. I've never animated a walking cycle ever. And I've been animating for a few years now. So that kind of limits me. So I really want to become a better animator, and Moho does have those extra features. It will teach me how to animate a body better. With Cartoon Animator, I can't animate a 2D puppet in a 3D world kind of thing. I can't change the upper body. With Moho, I can. So I have to think differently about my animations. So that will make me a better animator. And a lot of the things that I will learn thinking differently, I can always apply in Cartoon Animator maybe as well, because I will think differently. So for me, it is actually, I want to start using both. I want to invest in Moho. I'm sure it will make me a better animator. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below if you're using Cartoon Animator and why, if you're using Moho and why, and what are your thoughts? Which one do you prefer? So if you also want a list of free software that will help you with your animations, I compiled a list of free software. It's not pirated copies, it is actually freeware, and this list compiles of 2D animation, 3D animation, video editing, audio recording and mixing, storyboarding and script writing software. So everything you need to create awesome looking animations. In the description box below there's a link, just click there and I will send that list to you, and you will have all the tools to create awesome looking animations. So guys, from me, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys next week with another video. So from me, God bless and happy animating.